all, I'd like to say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of my many friends, also to my many enemies. Once again, this is another episode of Roosevelt Sounds Off. And on this evening, because I did come to you earlier this afternoon with a video, but I'm here to do a recap on this story that took place out of Saraland, Alabama. For all of you all who don't know, that 25-year-old Chikesia Clemons, along with her mother and a couple of her other friends, I guess they had just left the club or whatever, and they had went to a local Saraland Waffle House, and they had a confrontation there with some workers, which resulted in the police being called and Chikesia being thrown to the floor, you know, so hard that her blouse, whatever, had slipped off of her, or clothes, she came out of her clothes, and you know, her breast and everything were exposed. And this is how she got treated by the Saraland police. So right now I am going to show you the video that started this, the viral video, because this video has gone viral. And from what I heard tonight and doing some more research on it, that this video has found its way to World Star Hip Hop. And I'm also going to play for you the clip of the police chief's response, or police investigator, should I say, response to this particular incident. Because I would have put this clip in here earlier, only that it just came available just this evening. So I, you know, have that clip for you, and to see what they say about it. Not trying to say what the police said really happened, but you know, it kind of gives another view about it, because you know, at first we only have Chikesia and her mother's word for what happened the first time when this whole thing started. So you know, we're gonna play, you know, the video that started it, and also the police response of what happened, of why, and we can find out why they say that the police were called. So let me cut to the clip, and I will be right back with what I think about this whole thing. And you could be surprised at my response now that the police video has come out about this whole thing. Let me cut to the clip.
You haven't did nothing. They haven't did nothing too. Yeah, she asked him what's corporate number.
Because the only thing I asked him was for corporate number.
That's the only thing she asked him.
I was going to go over there and get the card from them.
I heard the F-bomb and everything else.
No, because Goldie was sitting here talking crazy to me. No, but that's not what you're going to do to me. You're not going to grab on me like that, no.
Come on, Kiki, let's just go outside.
Please talk to you separately. Because he just come here and just grabbed on me like for no reason. I would say I was going.
Yes, he would have. All she did was ask him what's their number. Why are y'all pushing her? She's not doing nothing. Like, what are y'all doing? No, y'all doing nothing.
Y'all ain't really doing stuff to me. What are you doing?
Man, I'm about to break your arm. That's what I'm about to do.
You about to break her arm?
Go ahead and quit resisting.
Like, what are y'all doing?
No, I'm not.
Y'all got her titties out and everything.
What's going on?
Right now you can put
No, I'm understanding. Trying to understand what's going on.
She not, y'all ain't even talking about why she being on the raid.
Y'all not even telling me what I'm doing.
Like, why you talking? Kiki, just turn over. Kiki, turn over.
Pull your head around. Roll on your stomach.
What am I doing wrong? What did I do wrong? Y'all haven't told me anything that I did wrong.
Roll over on your stomach.
Y'all haven't told me anything that I
Kiki,
did wrong.
y'all got her head behind her back.
Right. I don't have anything.
No, y'all fix it. Y'all got it.
Investigator with Saraland Police Department, and I interview witnesses to the events at the Waffle House. We have reached out to Ms. Clemons as well as Ms. Adams in order for us to try and interview them. Ms. Clemons did not appear for our interview time. We did speak with her and set up a time, and she did not appear, and attempts to reach Ms. Adams were unsuccessful. I interviewed the 3 officers as well as witnesses that were in the establishment. Those witnesses do include 6 employees and 1 customer. 2 witnesses were African American and 4 were female. All witness accounts were in concert and reported the individuals smelled of alcohol and appeared intoxicated. One person did bring a drink into the establishment, and they were told that they could not have outside food or beverages in the restaurant. They were asked to leave because of bringing in this beverage, which they also believed to be alcohol. After that encounter, all of the situation escalated, with both Miss Clemons and Miss Adams being loud and using profanity towards the employees of Waffle House. Words were used towards the employees such as fuck, bitch, calling women whores. They were told, you need to cool down and please stop using the profanity. We have other patrons in the restaurant. They told the Waffle House employees that I'll come over this counter and beat your fucking ass. Bitch, I'm gonna have your job. You ain't gonna be here tomorrow. According to one of the witnesses, Waffle House personnel were also told, bitch, you don't know what I got going on. While you was in my business, I may have a gun, I may have anything. I can come back here and shoot this place up if I need to. Witnesses also report that the officer asked Miss Clemons to comply with his instructions on multiple occasions to stop resisting arrest, and she refused to comply.
Okay, you just saw those two clips, and those two clips include the viral video from the arrest of what took place in the Waffle House on early Sunday morning, as well as the police investigators' response, you know, according to what the police side was when they were interviewed. Okay, and that falls under the category of fair use, by the way. Okay, let's get more into this particular story. Now, they are saying, well, at least the mother and daughter said, that the confrontation started when they had asked, when they ordered some food, first of all, and they had wanted a package of like plastic silverware, and they said that the plastic utensils were going to be 50 cents. And she says that she didn't understand how come they had to be 50 cents, because she had just ate there the day before and she had gotten them for free. So she didn't know how come she was being charged now. And I even said in the earlier video, I guess that maybe she didn't deal with, you know, the people who she had dealt with like the day before. Because I tell you that sometimes whenever you go into a place of business or into a restaurant, you know, when people kind of know you or used to dealing with you, you know, they might give you certain things, you know, small things like free or whatever, because they kind of know you. But if you could run into another worker like the next day or two who might not know you, then, you know, they might not do such a thing. So that's what this whole fiasco has started over. It's just a 50-cent package of plastic utensils, which is something that is very, very small, and I feel didn't have to go there. And I feel that, you know, I think it could have easily have been worked out, and, you know, it didn't have to go this far to the result where it led into some confrontations and all of this other kind of stuff. And according to what the police response was, according to the investigator, he said, you know, I guess when they interviewed like the different customers and workers there, they had used the F word and had used the, you know, B word and all of this other kind of stuff. And basically they were acting disorderly. If that was the case, if the police response is correct, because I can only go on what, you know, her and her mother says, and I can only go on what the police investigator said. So basically, if all of this is true, I have to say that they both behave badly. And I feel that the whole thing could have been avoided, because, I mean, only thing you have to do if you really want it, you know, you just pay 50 cents for the things. It's not a big deal. 50 cents to me is not going to make you or break you. But I can understand some people actually hold out because, you know, they feel that it's the principle of the whole thing. You know, why am I paying for this particular item today when I didn't have to pay for this particular item on yesterday? So some people, they do that because of the principle. But sometimes in life, and it's something that a good friend of mine always tells me, that when it comes down to this kind of stuff, sometimes you have to choose your battles. Because, you know, there are things in life, you know, far much more bigger and broader things that might be worth fighting for. But yet, you know, you might find some other things that are not that big. You know, like this particular incident over a 50-cent package of plastic utensils that is not so important on fighting over. And it just led to this big old fiasco to the point that it led to an arrest. And then she ended up getting charged with disorderly conduct and resisting arrest. So yeah, if all of this is true of what they said in the police investigation, that she did use the F word and use the B word and everything, then yeah, that was bad. And that might have been rude, crude, or whatever. So yeah, maybe she behaved badly. But I feel that the police officers also behaved badly and acted out of character. Because if you look at that video, even before he throws her to the floor, he has his hand over one of her breasts, which that doesn't look right, first and foremost, okay? And second of all, when he did have her on the ground, and I guess that she didn't put her hand behind her back fast enough or whatever, then he's saying that he's going to break her arm. That also didn't look good on the police officer's part. And I feel that I don't care sometimes what a regular person does. Because us sometimes as regular people, you know, we might do certain things that are wrong or whatever. But I feel that when it comes down to police officers, they're supposed to be the examples of what we should be, because they're the ones who are paid to enforce the laws. You know, us, you know, we might be able to do anything, but I feel that if you're a police officer, you need and should be held to a higher standard more than the average person is. So yeah, she might go and do or say any kind of a thing, but the police officer had no right to, first of all, number one, have his hand on her breast, and number two, you know, just so anxious to make an arrest that, you know, her top came off, her breast and everything are exposed, and they're not caring. They're only just anxious just to go put her in handcuffs, and that's pretty much it. And, you know, because, you know, when you get into it with police, and a whole lot of people, I'm actually hearing on YouTube saying that, you know, that maybe she should have just gone along with them and everything and not resisted arrest, because they said you can't hold court in the street. Because they said that if you want to, you know, fight that out, you know, you got courtrooms and there's procedures and all of that, you know, to deal with it. Because at the time, the only thing the cop is thinking about doing is only arresting you. But yet, on the other hand, I can sometimes understand how come people do resist arrest. Because to be arrested, especially in front of other people, it's just so embarrassing. It's so humiliating. Especially in this case, where the girl's clothes ended up falling off of her. And this video has gone viral. It's been shared thousands and thousands of times in the last day or two. And a lot of people have seen it, and now it has made its way to world star hip hop. There's another YouTuber that, you know, sometimes I watch, and sometimes I agree with a whole lot of things he says, but sometimes I don't, because I feel that he's very conservative in nature. His name is David Carroll, and he always says that it's two bad things that happen to black people, and that's integration, number one, and the internet, number two, the two eyes. Integration is a bad thing to happen to black people because, you know, black people, you know, before integration used to have their own dental, you know, offices, used to have their own law offices and everything. And black people did more for self. But yet when they integrated into white society, they began to get all these goods and services from white people. And they began to believe the myth that they didn't have to ever shop, or some of them still today don't want to shop and do business with a black business, even if it's a black business that's doing the same service as a white business, because in a black person's mind, they are always, you know, have the mental state that the white man's ice is colder, so to speak. And he said that the bad thing about the internet is that, you know, people, you know, it's many of us, because I'm not trying to say everybody, please don't get me wrong, but because there's many of us who use the internet and use these like Facebook and Twitch and Twitter and YouTube and Pinterest, Foursquare, Periscope. There's many of us who actually use this as a tool and a vehicle to try to help people. Man, do you know how many good things that I have found on YouTube? I mean, even the camera that I'm shooting this very video with right now, the Nikon D7000, I found out how to operate the whole camera by watching a couple of videos on YouTube. I didn't even need an instruction manual when I got this camera, because I figured out how to operate, do all my settings, all of this through YouTube. I figured out how to edit through Windows Movie Maker on YouTube. I figured out, when I even cooked something, I figured out how to bake chicken for the first time a couple of years ago. Why? Because of a recipe on YouTube. And they put recipes, people put recipes on Facebook, and and plus it's people like me who use the, this kind of media to try to put out positive things about what's going on in the community, and trying to put out solutions out there as to what kind of things that we can do to solve these kind of problems that we have within the community and between people and the police. And I've even used certain videos dealing with different subjects even to minister to people. And that's the positive side of it. But on the flip side, we also have the negative side of it, where some of you all go and download a whole lot of these different fight videos, and women and girls and everything fighting each other, and men fighting each other and cursing each other out, and they put it all on Facebook, put it all on YouTube, and put it all on World Star Hip Hop, where you see these people, doing embarrassing and crazy things to other black people, doing all these kind of crazy things to other black people. And it seems like the internet is a whole tool now where somebody who didn't know anything, somebody way across the world someplace, might not have known anything about black people at all from America. But yet when you put all of this stuff out there that's embarrassing, that's abusive to each other, the whole world can go on the internet and see your dysfunction. That's why he says that the internet was a bad idea for black people. The whole world could see your dysfunction. Not everybody, but a whole lot of people are doing this kind of stuff. Because why did this video already make its round to World Star Hip Hop? This is embarrassing. And I think that, the police were wrong, and I think that this actually takes away a person's pride. This takes away a person's dignity. And some people are saying that she probably wants to sue and everything because she feels embarrassed, and rightfully so. I mean, I would feel embarrassed that if I was being arrested, all of my clothes and everything came off too. So I feel that in this case, by trying to see both sides of it, because I try not to be one-sided if I can help it, but seeing both sides of it, maybe both people, and I say maybe because I wasn't there, I didn't see it, I'm only going according to what she and her mother and, one of her friends who shot the video are saying, and I can only go on what the chief investigators, is saying, because I wasn't there, I didn't see it with my own two eyes. But if all of this happened like both sides said it happened, both behaved badly. And I feel that it easily could have been solved. And I think that this all could have been prevented. And like I said, that in this society, that no one ever talks to each other anymore. No one ever tries to communicate. I think that we could come up with the solutions to most problems as not only black people or white people or Asians or Latinos, but if we just all know how to communicate and all know how to talk to each other, because every single bad situation in society does not have to be, or have to end, should I say, with a pair of handcuffs, a trip down to the county jail, and a court date. Certain things like this, I think, could easily be talked out, and easily be worked out. And I just also don't feel that, I know that they were behaving badly and even, using foul language, but I just don't think that every single ill of society, whether it's bad or not, or whether somebody feels uncomfortable or not, needs to be an arrestable offense. Some things could easily just be talked about and worked out. That way, I think that we can have stronger people and stronger communities, and we can get along far better as the human family. Black people and white people, all of us, all God's children, black and white. Because in God's sight, no matter what, right or wrong, we are all equal in God's sight. And that's how it should be in man's sight, because we know that God has no respect of persons, and he said so in the scripture. And we as people shouldn't have no respect of persons also. It shouldn't be one set of rules for police and one set of rules for us. It should be all in one. All of us are the same. All of us equally all together as one. So that's what I want to be about. All of us coming together as one and learning how to talk and learning how to communicate to work out these issues. So right now, that's where I'm going to leave it. Thank you for tuning into the channel. If anybody likes the video, be sure to give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. And I hope to see everybody in the next video. Peace and blessings to all.